The air hung heavy with an eerie silence as I stood before the weathered gates of my childhood house. The place I had once called home was now a decaying relic, nestled in the heart of the forgotten woods. The memories flooded back like a haunting melody, each note playing a chord of nostalgia and fear. As I pushed the rusted gate open, it creaked in protest, a sound that echoed through the desolate landscape. The overgrown path leading to the house was barely visible, as if nature itself was trying to reclaim the once lively dwelling. A chill ran down my spine, but a strange compulsion pulled me forward, deeper into the shadows of the past. The windows of the house stared back at me like vacant eyes, shattered and blind to the passage of time. The front door groaned on its hinges as I cautiously pushed it open. The musty odor of neglect assaulted my senses, blending with the lingering scent of forgotten dreams. Dust particles danced in the dim light that filtered through the cracked windows. The rooms were frozen in time, relics of a childhood that now seemed like a distant dream. The faded wallpaper clung desperately to the walls, adorned with patterns that had once sparked my imagination. A shattered rocking chair rocked back and forth in the corner, its rhythm disturbingly irregular. I felt a shiver race down my spine as I caught a glimpse of my reflection in the cracked mirror, a distorted image that seemed to whisper tales of bygone secrets. The staircase groaned under my weight as I ascended to the second floor. The hallway was cloaked in shadows, and the floorboards whispered beneath my hesitant steps. The door to my old room stood ajar, revealing the darkness within. The room seemed to exhale a sinister energy, a tangible manifestation of the secrets it held. As I entered, the air grew thicker, as if the room itself was holding its breath. The tattered curtains danced with the ghostly breeze, casting eerie shadows across the peeling wallpaper. The remnants of my childhood toys lay scattered on the floor, a haunting reminder of the laughter that once echoed through these walls. A creaking sound echoed from the closet, and my heart skipped a beat. I approached it slowly, the door protesting with every inch. It opened. The darkness within seemed to stretch into an abyss, and an inexplicable fear clung to the air. As I peered into the shadows, I saw two glimmering eyes staring back at me, not the eyes of a memory, but the eyes of something else. A chilling whisper slithered through the room, sending shivers down my spine. "Why did you come back?" it hissed, the voice a distorted symphony of the past. Panic surged within me, and I stumbled backward, crashing into the remains of a broken chair. The eyes in the closet seemed to multiply, their gaze fixated on my every move. The room pulsed with an otherworldly energy, and the walls seemed to close in on me. I stumbled towards the door, my hands fumbling with the handle. The whispers grew louder, morphing into anguished cries of a forgotten existence. I felt a cold hand brush against mine, and I recoiled in terror. In a desperate attempt to escape, I fled down the staircase, the haunting presence clinging to my every step. The front door slammed shut behind me with a force that shook the entire house. I stumbled out into the overgrown yard, gasping for breath as the oppressive atmosphere released its grip. As I glanced back at the decaying house, I could still hear the whispers lingering in the air. The eyes in the closet burned into my memory, a haunting reminder of the secrets that had been buried within those walls. The childhood home that I had once cherished had transformed into a realm of forgotten nightmares, a place where the past clawed at the present, refusing to be ignored.